Hello and welcome back to Football Daily. Everybody knows that right now Barcelona are in disarray, so today we want to outline how they could rebuild their 11 to win the Champions League. I said it, it's pretty ambitious. Goalkeeper, Marc-Andre Ter Stegen. Signed for just €12 million in May 2014, in former director of football Andoni Zubizarreta's final window, Marc-Andre Ter Stegen has been an unqualified success, helping them win their most recent Champions League in his debut campaign. Ter Stegen's performances did dip in 1920, with his save percentage falling to 73% from a high of 80 in 17-18, and his post-shot expected goals, the metric used to show a keeper's likelihood of stopping a shot, ranked 29th out of 44 keepers used in La Liga. But with the world's best shot stoppers such as Oblak, Alisson, and on the basis of last season Thibaut Courtois seemingly happy at their clubs, we don't foresee a cash-strapped Barcelona replacing the already excellent 28-year-old German anytime soon. We back Ter Stegen to put his horror display in Bayern's 8-2 battering behind him and rediscover his best form in 2020-2021. Left back Owen Wijndal. With Jordi Alba now 31 and in decline, and Junior Firpo seemingly not trusted as his long-term replacement, another left-back could well be a prudent addition. And with the world's best left-backs Andy Robertson and Alphonso Davies already being tied down to long-term contracts and big money needed elsewhere across the side, we believe the Blaugrana should turn their attention to AZ Alkmaar youngster Owen Wijndal, who transfer marked value at just under £10 million. Despite being just 20, the academy graduate has emerged as a key member of Arne Slot's title-chasing team last season, playing all but one of AZ's 25 games prior to the league's cancellation. In that time, he proved himself to not only be an adept defender, completing 3.5 tackles and interceptions per 90, impressive for a side that saw 57% of the ball, but also 1.6 key passes per 90, a figure only topped by Messi and Ricky Puig in the Barcelona squad. At the moment, he is far from the finished article, as shown by his 0.9 successful take-ons per 90. That's still more than double what Alba produced in 1920. In Wijndal and Junior Firpo, Barcelona would have two left-backs with enormously high ceilings. Centre-back Clement Lenglet. Of their £454 million worth of additions since the start of 18-19, Lenglet is arguably the only current success. Signed from Sevilla for £32 million after 18 months in southern Spain, he's permanently displaced Umtiti as Piqué's partner. And whilst the Blaugrana defence has regressed, with the side conceding 38 league goals last term, their worst tally since 12-13, that is hardly Lenglet's fault, with only Busquets topping his 84 combined tackles and interceptions last term. Frequently labelled as reactive and too easy to counter-attack, the 8-capped Frenchman is Barcelona's most proactive defender. Regaining the ball 43% of the time, he pressured the opponent, the best in the Barcelona squad. Throw in the fact he completes 6.1 passes per 90 into the final third, not only more than Piqué but also more than the likes of Virgil van Dijk, and it's clear that the 25-year-old is good enough to become the cornerstone of the Barcelona defence for years to come. Centre-back Dayot Upamecano. In 1920, Upamecano emerged as one of Europe's most promising players, let alone defenders, as he anchored RB Leipzig's title challenge and run to the Champions League semis. But whilst he recently put pen to paper on a new 3-year contract, extinguishing any hopes of landing in this window, Kicker are reporting that the deal includes a €42 million release clause, which will be active from next summer. And based off his performances this season, that would represent an absolute steal. He averaged a monumental 5 defensive actions per 90 in the Champions League, with Palomino and Club Brugge's Clinton Mata the only centre-back to top his 3.4 tackles per 90. Capable of breaking the lines with a mazy run or an incisive pass, he ranked first in RB Leipzig's squad for total distance covered, both with passes and with dribbles last campaign. Although he has been predominantly playing on the left-hand side over the past few seasons, Upamecano is actually right-footed, meaning he'll be more than capable of fitting in comfortably alongside his fellow Frenchman in Catalonia. Right back Ricardo Pereira. Barcelona need to sort out the right side of their defence as a matter of urgency, with Nelson Semedo not at the required level and Sergio Roberto best used in midfield. Our suggestion is none other than Leicester City's Ricardo Pereira. It was no coincidence that prior to the Portuguese's injury against Aston Villa in March, Leicester were third in the table, 8 points clear of 5th place Man United, only to collapse and finish 4 points behind them at the end of the season. After all, this was a player who married an insane 5.9 tackles and interceptions, a figure only topped by teammate Ndidi in the Premier League with 20 pressures per 90, only bettered by the outgoing Vidal at the Camp Nou. While he isn't the most attacking option with just one key pass per 90, he still provided 8 league assists over the last 2 seasons. That's the same as Semedo's contribution in the last 4 campaigns. This one is surely an absolute no-brainer. Centre mid, Frenkie De Jong. Whilst Frenkie De Jong might not have shown his best form consistently in his debut season at the Camp Nou following his €75 million switch from Ajax, we feel criticism of his performances was a little unjust. While his key passes per 90 might have fallen from 1.6 in 1890 to just 1.1 last campaign, he still managed to show his trademark press resistance, completing a solid 2 take-ons per 90, dwarfing Rakitic's 0.6 and Vidal's 0.4 respectively. And whilst his 4.8 progressive passes per 90 pales in comparison to the likes of Ever Banega on 11 or Toni Kroos on 8, we feel that when he's settled in his preferred position, we will see an explosion in those numbers. With Sergi Busquets recently turning 32 and now being dribbled past 1.6 times per 90 more than at any point in the last decade, it's time to look to the future. If Ronald Koeman can harness De Jong's line-breaking ability and phase out the 117-cap veteran, European glory will surely be one step closer. Central midfield, Rodrigo Bentancur. With Arturo Vidal nearing the exit door to Inter Milan and Ivan Rakitic and Arthur already departed for Sevilla and Juventus, Barcelona need an all-action box-to-box midfielder. And whilst it appears that's going to be 29-year-old Gini Wijnaldum from Liverpool, we feel 23-year-old Rodrigo Bentancur could be a better fit. The 6'2" rangy midfielder who can play box-to-box or in the holding role has established himself as a key member of the Bianconeri side since arriving from Boca Juniors in 2017, with 43 appearances in all comps last season. During those 2,200 league minutes, he contributed a team-high 7 assists and 3.7 defensive actions per 90, crucial in a Barcelona midfield bereft of an enforcer. Throw in nearly 2 key passes and 1.5 dribbles per 90, not to mention 6.1 passes into the final third, and Bentancur appears to be the perfect two-way midfielder. If only Barcelona had swapped Arthur for the 29-capped Uruguayan rather than the ageing Pjanic. Centre mid, Riqui Puig. Basing their midfield around homegrown talent Riqui Puig would not only allow Barcelona to reconnect La Masia with the first team, but allow them to keep their spending to a minimum, important given the club's precarious financial position. But this wouldn't just be a charitable inclusion on the basis of his performance towards the back end of the 1920 campaign, he deserves the start, with 2 assists in 508 La Liga minutes. And if you dig a little deeper, Barcelona fans might have a reason to get excited. Whilst fairly small at just 5'7" and built like a stereotypical Barcelona midfielder, Puig didn't shirk his defensive duties, with 2.7 tackles and interceptions per 90. With exceptional balance and close control, it's little surprise that he completed 2.1 take-ons per 90 with a superb 91% completion rate, 5% more than one of the continent's best in former Barcelona player Thiago. Factor in 1.8 chances created per 90, a figure only topped by Messi last season, and Koeman should make Puig the creative fulcrum in midfield over the next few years, with support from Philippe Coutinho. Left wing, Christian Pulisic. Whilst it appears that Memphis Depay is the man destined to be Barcelona's left winger for the next few seasons, having analysed what he'd bring to the side extensively in other videos, we want to put forward a potential alternative. There's little to no chance that Chelsea would sell Pulisic this summer, although it took the 21-year-old 6 months or so to settle following his £58 million move from Borussia Dortmund. Pulisic's performances towards the end of the 1920 campaign showed him to be one of the best young players in the division. He finished the season with 9 goals and 4 assists in 25 league appearances, at an average of a goal contribution every 132 minutes. That's exactly the same as what Eden Hazard averaged in his debut season in West London. Ranking 10th for shots per 90 above the likes of Rashford and Kane, whilst also creating 1.6 chances per 90, that's just 0.2 less than Mo Salah, it's a little surprise he averaged 0.7 expected goals and assists per 90, a figure only topped by Messi and Suarez in Catalonia. Already capped 34 times by the US at the age of 21, Christian Pulisic would have been an incredibly astute signing for Barcelona, but I suppose there's still time yet. Right wing. I didn't write this, but it's been put in as Ansu Fati. How this isn't Lionel Messi, I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. In the script it says, at 33 and in all likelihood entering the final campaign of his glorious 16-year stint at the Camp Nou, Barca fans have come to terms with the fact that their next great 11 probably won't include Lionel Messi. The shining light of Barcelona's miserable 1920 campaign, in which they finished trophyless for the first time in 12 years, was without a doubt Ansu Fati. Thrust into the first team during an injury crisis before even making his debut for the reserves, the Spaniard instantly shone, scoring 6 days later to become the youngest ever goalscorer in the process at Barcelona. But the then 16-year-old wasn't done there. By mid-September, he'd become the youngest player to score an assist in the same La Liga match, and 3 months after that, became the Champions League's youngest ever goalscorer. By the end of the campaign, Fati had contributed 8 league goals at an average of 1 every 128 minutes and established himself as a permanent fixture in the Barca squad. And a few weeks ago, he went one better, starring for Spain in their 4-0 victory over Ukraine with 2 dribbles, 2 key passes, 6 shots and a well-taken goal. Normally a left winger, Koeman must ensure Fati gets as many minutes as possible on either flank. I mean, either that, or they could just try and keep Lionel Messi, the greatest player in football history. Striker, Erling Braut Haaland. Whilst Barcelona have clearly earmarked Lautaro Martinez as their long-term target at number 9, we feel that with his €111 million release clause no longer active, there could be a cheaper, more achievable target available. One such player could be Erling Braut Haaland, whose stay at Borussia Dortmund seems destined to be a short one. The 20-year-old was the breakout star of the 1920 campaign, with his blistering pace, perfect physique and deadly finishing, yielding a monumental 44 goals in 40 games for Salzburg and Dortmund. He didn't look remotely fazed by stepping up to the Champions League, with his 8 games yielding 10 goals and 1 assist, including strikes against Liverpool, Napoli and a double against PSG. Whilst not the finished article in terms of build-up play and defensive work, Haaland, with 2.9 shots per 90, of which 57% hit the target, that's 3% more than Luis Suarez, has shown himself to be a more than capable heir to the great Uruguayan. So that was our 11 to rebuild Barcelona and take them back to Champions League glory. Is there anybody you disagreed with and anybody you think we should have included? Let me know in the comments below. I'm guessing Lionel Messi is going to be high on the comments list. Thanks very much for watching. We'll see you later.